My older brother had an imaginary friend when he was little. At least, that's what we thought. He used to talk to someone in his room for hours, laughing, playing, like there was actually someone there. But sometimes, it changed. My mom would hear him say things like, "Stop, leave me alone," or, "No, I don't want to go to my room with you." When she asked who he was talking to, he'd just say, "He won't leave me alone." One night, around 10 or 11 p.m., my mom suddenly heard loud popping sounds coming from the living room. It was the balloons from his birthday. She rushed out and saw my brother standing there, frozen, terrified. "Did you pop them?" she asked. He shook his head and pointed to nothing. No, he did. That's when my mom noticed something that made her stomach drop. A knife, lying right next to the balloons. There was no way my brother could reach it without thinking. She yelled, "Get out of my house!" She couldn't see anything, but she knew something was there. She asked my brother, "Is he gone?" He looked around, then nodded. Yeah, he left, and then quietly said, "Thank you." About 15 minutes later, my cousins came over. One of them looked confused and said, "Who is that standing at your front door?" My mom froze. "What do you mean?" He said, "There was a woman, all in white, with her hair covering her face." My brother looked at him, completely calm, and said, "That's his mom." He then turned to the door, like he was looking right at her, and said, "She's still here, and she's mad." My mom started yelling again, telling her to leave. Then she asked my brother one last time, "Is she gone?" He nodded. Yeah, she left. My brother is 19 now, and sometimes he still sees him in the mirror. I had only been working this job for a few days when something happened in that house that I still can't explain. I had just started working for a carpentry company, fresh out of high school. I didn't really know what I was doing yet. I was still learning everything. One morning, my boss called me early and told me to head over to one of our job sites. When I got there, he quickly showed me what needed to be done, and then left. I was completely alone in the house. We were already short-staffed, so it wasn't unusual. Still, something about being there by myself felt off. I took off my shoes and started heading down to the basement. That's when I heard it. It sounded like heavy breathing, like something panting. I stopped for a second, then just told myself it was probably the family's dog. So I kept going. I made it into the unfinished room where we kept our tools and started cleaning out some buckets. That's when I heard it again. A bark, but not a normal bark. It sounded like a grown man trying to imitate a dog. I froze. For a second, I actually thought it was my boss messing with me. So I dropped what I was holding, walked toward the door, and called out his name. Nothing. No answer. That's when I started getting nervous. I decided I was just going to head back upstairs. But before I could leave, I heard it again. That same unnatural bark. This time, coming from deeper in the basement. I don't know why, but I went to check. I slowly walked toward one of the other rooms and looked inside, and that's when I saw it. It looked like a dog, But something was horribly wrong with it. It was too big. Its body didn't move right. And its eyes, I can't even explain its eyes. They didn't look like an animal's eyes. It felt like something was looking back at me from inside it, like a person wearing a dog's skin. My entire body went cold. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. My eyes started watering, and I got chills everywhere. I don't even remember how I got out of that house, but I never went back down into that basement again. And even now, just thinking about it makes my blood run cold. This is something my family still talks about, because none of us can explain what really happened that night. I have a lot of scary stories from my family, but this one still sticks with me. It happened to my aunt. She and my little cousin Lily were home alone one night. Everyone was asleep. My aunt woke up suddenly. She was thirsty and decided to go get a glass of water. Her room was at the end of a long hallway. She made it halfway to the living room when she looked up. Standing in the doorway to the kitchen was a woman. She was pale, wearing a blue dress, and her face, it looked distorted, and she was pointing directly at her. My aunt froze, and then everything went black. The next thing she remembers, she was sitting inside her car, in the middle of train tracks. It was 3 a.m. She called her friend in tears, completely confused and terrified. Her friend managed to calm her down and asked her something that made everything worse. "Where is Lily?" Lily wasn't with her. She was still inside the house, alone. When my aunt went back home, she realized something terrifying. She had left the front door open. She rushed inside and found Lily sitting on the couch. Lily said she woke up and saw her aunt leaving and tried to call her, but she never responded. They left immediately and spent the rest of the week somewhere else. But to this day, none of them can explain what happened that night or who the woman in the blue dress was.